Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Bulgarian ebook before it's gone.
Welcome to BulgarianPod101.com's Български в 3 минути, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Bulgarian. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е. Hi, I'm Eva, nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Bulgarian expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Bulgarian. But first, it's important to clarify that in Bulgarian, there is a difference between the formal and the informal language. Let's first see how Bulgarian people introduce themselves in an informal situation. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Hi, I'm Eva, nice to meet you. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Start by saying Здрасти, аз се казвам. Then say your name. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Finally say Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. And now let's see the same sentence in formal speech. Здравейте, аз се казвам Ива Георгиева. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Hello, I'm Eva Georgieva. Nice to meet you. Здравейте, аз се казвам Ива Георгиева. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these together. Здрасти has been substituted with the formal greeting Здравейте, formal Bulgarian for hello. Аз се казвам Ива has not been changed. Аз се казвам stands in both cases for I am or my name is. However, during a formal self-introduction, we also say our last name. So I said Eva Georgieva. Here, you would say your full name. Finally, the ending remains the same. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. It is a universal Bulgarian greeting meaning nice to meet you. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Bulgarian is Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. The formal way to introduce yourself is Здравейте, аз се казвам Ива Георгиева. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Now it's time for Eva's insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands in Bulgaria. And if you're not sure whether to use Здрасти or Здравейте, just say simply Добър ден, which means hello and is used during the daytime. Do you know how we say thank you in Bulgarian? You'll learn how to say this and many other words in our next lesson. Останете на линия за следващия урок. See you then! Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Hi everybody, I'm Eva. Welcome to BulgarianPod101.com's Български в 3 минути, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Bulgarian. In the last lesson, we learned how to introduce ourselves in Bulgarian. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Готови ли сте? Are you ready? Да започваме! So let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. Благодаря. Благодаря. Благодаря means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add много. Много благодаря. Много благодаря. Много means a lot. So много благодаря is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned both the informal and the formal way of speaking Bulgarian. Благодаря is the most common way to thank someone. If you want to be more casual, there is another word you should use, and you will be amazed which word that is. Merci. Merci. Merci is a loan word from French, but it is pronounced with the typical Bulgarian hard R. R. It is used mainly in informal situations. Merci. How do you answer? It's easy. There are basically two different ways to do it. The first is няма защо. Няма защо. Няма защо literally means there is no reason, but it is the equivalent of don't mention it. The other way to say you're welcome is the word моля. Моля. Literally, this word means I beg or please, but it has become a common way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone says благодаря to you, we can simply reply with няма защо or моля. Now it's time for Eva's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use merci or благодаря, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. You don't have to worry about formal or informal situations. Благодаря can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and at any time. Do you know what довиждане means? In our next lesson, you'll learn this and other greetings in Bulgarian. Благодаря! Поздрави и до следващия урок! Здрасти! Аз се казвам Ива. Hi everybody, I'm Eva. Welcome to BulgarianPod101.com's Български в 3 минути. The fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Bulgarian. In the last lesson, we learned how to show gratitude to people by saying благодаря. In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Bulgaria. Готови ли сте? Are you ready? Да започваме! So let's start. The most used informal greeting is Здрасти. Здрасти. Здрасти means hi or hello. We should only use this greeting with friends or relatives. There is one more word which is informal way to say hello. Здравей. It has the same meaning as здрасти and is used when we speak only with one person. Здравей. And now let's continue with the formal way to greet people. The most general version is Добър ден. Добър ден. Literally, добър ден means good day. So as a rule, we can use добър ден only during the daytime, from morning until evening. During the evening, we say добър вечер. Добър вечер. Вечер is Bulgarian for evening, so добър вечер means good evening. During the morning, we say добро утро. Добро утро. Утро is Bulgarian for morning. Добро утро, добър ден, and добър вечер are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we use another word. In this formal situation, Bulgarian people use довиждане. Довиждане. Довиждане means goodbye. Finally, in Bulgarian, we have an expression meaning see you soon that can be considered both formal and informal. До скоро. До скоро. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Bulgarian. Let's review them all again. When meeting in an informal situation, zdrasti or zdravei for one person. When meeting older people or someone we don't know in the different times of the day, добро утро, добър ден, добър вечер. When living in a formal situation, довиждане. When living, no matter whether it is a formal or informal situation, до скоро. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Eva's insights. Remember merci from the last lesson. Bulgarian uses a lot of words borrowed from other languages, and we also have one for goodbye. Ciao! Just like Italian, this is actually the phrase you will hear the most in Bulgaria. Friends often say it to each other when leaving. Try to say it to your Bulgarian friends. Ciao! During the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase Говорите ли английски? Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next Български в 3 минути lesson. До скоро! Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Hi everybody, I'm Eva. Welcome to BulgarianPod101.com's Български в 3 минути, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Bulgarian. In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greetings in Bulgarian. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we are going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Bulgarian, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if their answer is no. Here's the informal way to say it. Говориш ли английски? Говориш ли английски? In Bulgarian, verbs change depending on the formality and also depending on the subject. This word is the informal form of the verb говоря, which means to speak, and it is conjugated for the second person singular. The next word is the particle li, which is used in many Bulgarian questions. Just remember that it means something like weather. And you probably recognize английски to be English. Говорите ли английски? To learn how to properly conjugate verbs like говоря, please look at our Absolute Beginner series on BulgarianPod101.com. You can find very detailed grammar lessons and resources there. We are now going to make this sentence formal. First, we need to use the formal version of speak, which is говорите. Everything else stays the same. Говорите ли английски? Говорите ли английски? Adding извинете, excuse me, the sentence becomes even more polite. Извинете, говорите ли английски? Извинете, говорите ли английски? The responses you will receive could be one of these three. Да, yes. Да. Малко, a little. Малко. Не говоря английски. No, I don't speak English. Не говоря английски. Since the last one is a negative statement, we need to say не before the verb говоря and не in the beginning of the whole sentence. Notice also that the verb говоря is slightly different than говорите. Remember, the verb changes depending on the formality and the subject. We are now talking about us, Bulgarian for I. Thus, I do not speak is аз не говоря. Now it's time for Eva's insights. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can obviously use this question with any language you need. Bulgarian people study other European languages at school, so maybe you will get lucky. Just substitute angliski with Ruski for Russian, Nemski for German, Italianski for Italian, Ispanski for Spanish. In this lesson, we mentioned the expression izvinete. But did you know that this could also be used as an apology? In the next lesson, we will learn this and other ways to apologize in Bulgarian. It's never too late to show your good manners with Bulgarian people. I'll see you in our next Bulgarski в 3 минути lesson. До скоро! Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Hi everybody, I'm Eva. Welcome to BulgarianPod101.com's Bulgarski в 3 минути, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Bulgarian. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase Извинете, говорите ли английски? Excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the word извинете, which means excuse me in formal Bulgarian. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use извинете and other words when apologizing in Bulgarian. We should use извинете in formal situations, such as when we are ordering something in bars or restaurants. For example, извинете, едно кафе моля. Excuse me, a coffee please. We can also use it when asking a question. Извинете, къде се намира храм Александър Невски? Excuse me, where is the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral? Sometimes we also hear people say, ако обичате, which means the same thing when you want to draw someone's attention. We only use this phrase in formal speech. Ако обичате. The informal way to say excuse me is извинявай. Извинявай. Just like извинете, we can use извинявай when asking a question or when apologizing. We can also use the word прощавай. Прощавай. You might hear this phrase translated as forgive me in English, but it's not formal or strong at all. Bulgarian people use it in very casual situations. Its formal version in second person plural is прощавайте. All of these phrases can be used for either excuse me or I'm sorry. But if you really want to apologize for something, it might be better to use a different phrase. That phrase is съжалявам. It means I'm sorry and can be used in both formal and informal situations. съжалявам. This verb is in the first person singular form, so it basically means I'm sorry. You can use this expression anytime you wish to apologize. Now it's time for Eva's insights. Please remember that in Bulgaria, if you accidentally bump into someone, we don't say I'm sorry, съжалявам. Instead we say извинете, excuse me, or прощавайте, forgive me. Are you able to count in Bulgarian? In the next lesson, we will learn the numbers in Bulgarian from 1 to 10. I'll be waiting for you in our next Bulgarski в 3 минути lesson. Останете на линия за следващия урок. Bye!
Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Така, как се прави коледна питка? Първо, необходими продукти. Как беше? 1 килограм брашно, чаша олио, после сол, захар и сода по 1 лъжичка. Не, захар само щипка. Прибавяме вода и разбъркваме. После месим тестото. Накрая оформяме питката по желание и печем.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Тесто.
Dough.
Прибавям.
To add.
Разбърквам.
To mix. To stir.
Лъжичка.
Teaspoon.
Продукт.
Product. Ingredient.
Меся.
To knead.
Олио.
Cooking oil.
Пека.
To bake.
Сода.
Baking soda.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Така, как се прави коледна питка? Първо, необходими продукти. Как беше? 1 килограм брашно, чаша олио, после сол, захар и сода по 1 лъжичка. Не, захар само щипка. Прибавяме вода и разбъркваме. После месим тестото. Накрая оформяме питката по желание и печем.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Знаеш ли, отдавна исках да те питам,
Какво?
ще излезеш ли с мен?
Какво? Мислех, че сме само приятели.
Да, но аз те харесвам много.
Какво правите тук? Хайде, ще закъснем за лекция.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Лекция.
Lecture.
Харесвам.
To like.
Приятел.
Friend. Boyfriend.
Отдавна.
Long time ago. Long ago.
Излизам.
To go out. To date.
Питам.
To ask.
Тук.
Here.
Закъснявам.
To be late.
Мисля.
To think.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Знаеш ли, отдавна исках да те питам,
Какво?
ще излезеш ли с мен?
Какво? Мислех, че сме само приятели.
Да, но аз те харесвам много.
Какво правите тук? Хайде, ще закъснем за лекция.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
С това днешната лекция завършва. Пожелавам приятна зимна ваканция на всички и весело изкарване на коледните и новогодишни празници.
И не прекалявайте с храната и напитките.
И не забравяйте курсовите си работи. Довиждане!
Довиждане.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Храна.
Food.
Прекалявам.
To overdo.
Напитка.
Drink.
Изкарване.
Spending.
Завършвам.
To finish.
Днешен.
Today's.
Забравям.
To forget.
Пожелавам.
To wish.
Весел.
Happy. Merry.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
С това днешната лекция завършва. Пожелавам приятна зимна ваканция на всички и весело изкарване на коледните и новогодишни празници.
И не прекалявайте с храната и напитките.
И не забравяйте курсовите си работи. Довиждане!
Довиждане.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Добър ден! Искаме да си купим билети за автобус до град Кюстендил.
Са запазени места ли?
Да, разбира се.
За коя дата?
20 декември. 2 билета са запазени места до Кюстендил за 20 декември.
Еднопосочни?
Отиване и връщане.
Значи, 2 двупосочни билета са запазени места до Кюстендил. Отиване 20 декември и връщане 22 декември.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Град.
City.
Еднопосочен.
One way.
Място.
Seat.
Запазен.
Reserved.
Купувам.
To buy. Двупосочен.
Two-way. Round trip.
Връщане.
Return.
Отиване.
Going. Outbound.
Дата.
Date.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Добър ден! Искаме да си купим билети за автобус до град Кюстендил.
Са запазени места ли?
Да, разбира се.
За коя дата?
20 декември. 2 билета са запазени места до Кюстендил за 20 декември.
Еднопосочни?
Отиване и връщане.
Значи, 2 двупосочни билета са запазени места до Кюстендил. Отиване 20 декември и връщане 22 декември.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary, followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
И така. Първо слагаш основните съставки.
Добре.
После добавяш настръгания кашкавал.
А соста?
Сосът? Сосът се слага най-накрая, по желание на клиента.
Разбрано.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Основен.
Basic. Main.
Кашкавал.
Kashkaval cheese.
Добавям.
To add.
Разбран.
Understood.
Настърган.
Graded.
Клиент.
Client.
Сос.
Sauce.
Съставка.
Ingredient.
Слагам.
To put.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
И така. Първо слагаш основните съставки.
Добре.
После добавяш настръгания кашкавал.
А соста?
Сосът? Сосът се слага най-накрая, по желание на клиента.
Разбрано.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson. Are you struggling to understand conversations in your target language? This video will improve your listening skills using practice dialogues. How do you know if your language skills are improving? Our team of teachers have designed a free quiz to determine your actual learning level. So click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for you. In this lesson, you'll listen to a dialogue with the text. Second, you'll review the key vocabulary followed by the English translations. And finally, you'll review the dialogue with the text again to master what you learned. First, listen to the dialogue with the text on the screen.
Това е страхотно усещане.
Нали? Целият стрес от ежедневието се маха. Чувстваш се като перце.
Толкова ми е спокойно и отпуснато.
Я кажи, какво мислиш за Кирил?
Защо ме питаш?
Ами защото забелязвам, че те харесва.
Now you'll hear the key vocabulary, followed by the English translation.
Махам.
To take away.
Чувствам.
To feel.
Забелязвам.
To notice.
Спокоен.
Calm.
Страхотен.
Great.
Перце.
Feather.
Мисля.
To think.
Отпуснат.
Relaxed.
Ежедневие.
Daily life.
Finally, let's review the dialogue again. See if you can understand more this time.
Това е страхотно усещане.
Нали? Целият стрес от ежедневието се маха. Чувстваш се като перце.
Толкова ми е спокойно и отпуснато.
Я кажи, какво мислиш за Кирил?
Защо ме питаш?
Ами защото забелязвам, че те харесва.
This is the end of the lesson. In this lesson, you improved your listening and mastered key vocabulary for everyday life conversation. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get your free assessment and unlock lessons that are right for your learning level. Keep practicing and move on to the next lesson.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1. Find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Okay, hi everyone! How are you today? I'm your host Daria, and this is an episode of BulgarianPod101.com. Maybe one of the most important episodes because it gives you the top 25 Bulgarian phrases that they are. I mean, these are key phrases that you need to start a conversation, to introduce yourself, to say the basic phrases of every language. So if you want to be 25 Bulgarian phrases ahead of the rest of the people who don't know those, grab a pen and a notebook and let's start. Здравей. Здравей. Hello. How to start? How should we start? I think there's no better way to start but to say здравей. Zdravey. Hello. Well, hello everyone. Zdravey is like an informal way to say it. You can say здравейте, the formal one. Also plural. Yeah, you can say здравейте to multiple people. And also if you hear that some Bulgarian people say zdrasti, zdrasti, this is the short version of hello. Just hi. Добро утро. Добро утро. Good morning. How do you usually start the day? If you see somebody, you would greet them with Добро утро. Добро утро. Good morning. This phrase I love a lot because of the vibration of it. Добро утро. Practice your R's in this phrase. Also, I like to use it because we're one step ahead of our southern neighbors, the Greek people, who don't even have a phrase for good morning. They just start from Kalimera, which is the day. I don't know why nobody celebrates the morning over there. We do. Добър ден. Добър ден. Good afternoon. Moving on later in the day. Добър ден. Добър ден. Good afternoon. Now, here's the tricky part because it may be 10 a.m. in the morning, but you can hear a Bulgarian saying добър ден, which literally is good afternoon, but we use it more as good day to you. So remember it, добър ден. Лека нощ. Лека нощ. Good night. When you go to bed, you would hear a Bulgarian person wishing you leka noșt. Leka noșt. This is good night. Good night, good night. I remember a song from my childhood. There was a television show just before the little kids would go to bed. And the show was called Leka noșt deța. Good night, children. Deța. And it was about a character named Sâncho. Sâncho, which is like a sleepy boy. Anyway, memories from my childhood. Moving on. Как се казваш? Как се казваш? What's your name? Now that you've learned how to greet people according to the part of the day your encounter is happening, how to properly introduce yourself? You can ask them for their name. Как се казваш? Как се казваш? This is pretty much asking what's your name. You can also make it plural or formal by saying те at the end. Как се казва те? What is your name? Formal. And how do we reply to that? Аз съм Майя. Аз съм Майя. I'm Maya. Аз съм Дария. Аз съм Дария. Аз съм Дария. This is a way of saying I am Daria. And what do we usually add after that, after we introduce our name? Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Nice to meet you. Usually after we say our name, we would add приятно ми е да се запознаем. Right? It's very simple. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Nice to meet you. Now, you can just use the first part of this phrase, which is приятно ми е. It's nice. That's pretty much enough for Bulgarian. But if you want to sound more like a true Bulgarian, you gotta say приятно ми е да се запознаем. Как си? Как си? How are you? Как си? Как си? How are you? This is a classic question you can ask anybody, and it's a door opener, by the way. I've heard it use it quite a lot in the US or other countries. However, please, I beg of you, when you ask как си, really show interest and really mean it. Как си? Благодаря, добре. А ти? Благодаря, добре. А ти? I'm fine, thanks. And you? And usually there is the answer. Благодаря, добре. А ти? Благодаря, добре. А ти? Literally, I'm fine, thank you. And how about you? Благодаря, добре. Благодаря, добре. А ти? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Literally, благодаря is thank you, добре is good. Thank you, good. А ти and you. You can juggle with that, or you can say how you really feel. You may be moody, you may be happy, you may be anxious. So you can add whatever you like in that little phrase. Благодаря, добре. Благодаря, не добре. Моля. Моля. Please. Моля. Моля. It's a very important word because it shows politeness. It shows good intention. This is the Bulgarian word for please. Please. Also, moля means I beg you, I beg of you. But you can also add it to any sentence if you would like to request something. And we'll see later on how to use моля. Благодаря. Благодаря. Thank you. The next word is a very important one because it shows gratitude. Благодаря. Благодаря. One word. It means thank you. But the root of the word is благо, which is all the best things or the nice things. Даря, I'm gifting them to you. Like nice things I'm giving. So you can say благодаря. But also for people who don't feel confident in saying this long word in Bulgarian, it's fine for you to use the French merci, because we've stolen that one in our language. Пак заповядай. Пак заповядай. You're welcome. And usually if you say благодаря, you can say right afterwards, пак заповядай. Пак заповядай. You are welcome. And you have the nicest of nicest things in your relationship with the person you have just met. Nice base to work on from then on. Да. Yes. Here are the two most important words to reply a yes and no question, which are the words yes and no. Da in Bulgarian means yes. Ne, no. Ne in Bulgarian means no. But don't confuse it with the type of nodding, because all over the world, this means da and this means ne. But only in Bulgaria, it's vice versa. So this would mean no, and this would mean yes. Not ne, da. Why? I can't even tell you. I can't. Some psychology thing, sociology, I don't know. Добре. Okay. Remember the phrase that we've used before? Благодаря, добре. Replying to how are you feeling today? Good, thank you. Good. This is the word добре. Добре. This means okay in Bulgarian, and it's okay to use it as much as possible, just because of the good vibration of it. Добре, добре. Извинете. Извинете. Excuse me. Another of the top 25 Bulgarian phrases that everybody should know is извинете. Извинете. Excuse me. Yes, people should learn how to use this word as much as possible because, first of all, Bulgarian people rarely use it. Why? If they step on your foot or they push you or punch you, do something horrible to you, they would say, Opa. They may even crush your car and they will say, Opa, which literally is oops. They would not say, excuse me, I apologize, and they would just go away. Because we are such people. But really, a lot of people say opa. Opa, which is, I think it's a Greek word as well. Opa. Opa! Opa, hey. Okay. Съжалявам. Съжалявам. I'm sorry. Another good word to use is съжалявам. Съжалявам. Now, this means I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, but a lot of people find difficulty pronouncing the... Now I'm having difficulty speaking. Pronouncing the in the beginning, because we have this sound. The Brazilian people would understand perfectly what I'm talking about because they have this sound. But if you don't, stress on съжалявам. Съжалявам. It actually makes your body feel good after you say it. So I'm sorry. Use it as much as you can. Колко е часът? Колко е часът? What time is it? So you're walking the streets of Sofia or Plovdiv and you have a meeting with a local person to show you around. You've agreed to meet at 2 o'clock somewhere, but you don't have a watch. The battery on your phone is dead, so there is no way for you to know is it 2 o'clock already or not. Here is a way to ask for it. Колко е часът? Колко е часът? What's the time? Usually, as an answer, you would get just a number. 2, 2 часа, 3 часа, 4, and it's useful if you know the Bulgarian numbers. Къде е туалетната? Къде е туалетната? Where is the restroom? Another very useful phrase, which is definitely among the top 25 Bulgarian phrases you should know, is this one. Къде е туалетната? Къде е туалетната? The double O. Okay, where is the restroom? I don't know why I feel saying that learning this will open a lot of doors for you. Hopefully it will open a lot of doors for you and you don't have to wait in front of the restroom. But in Bulgaria, there are a lot. of public restrooms around, or you can use any cafe or restaurant for this. And literally, you can just say toilet, and they'll understand you because toilet, toaletna, very similar. Изчакайте за момент. Изчакайте за момент. Wait a moment. Here's another phrase. If you hear somebody say изчакайте за момент, изчакайте за момент, they usually mean wait a moment. I hope you don't hear this in front of the restroom door, but in case that happens, you know that you have to wait. Hey, sometimes in life you have to wait for the good things to come and to happen to you. Колко струва това? Колко струва това? How much is this? So you've had a wonderful day sightseeing and you've met the local person, and then you enter a souvenir shop. But in the souvenir shop there is no price announced. Now, if that happens, you can ask, колко струва това? Колко струва това? How much is this? And again, they'll give you a number as an answer. So it's always handy and good to learn the Bulgarian numbers first. Pomost. Pomost. Help. If you need help, ask for it. You can say pomost. Pomost. Help. Yell it as loud as you can. Pomost. Pomost. It's a funny thing that we Bulgarians have been exposed so much to Western movies that almost everybody would know the English version of pomost, which is help. However, you will sound like a true Bulgarian if you learn pomost. До скоро. До скоро. See you later. We are almost towards the end. It seems proper that I give you 2 phrases of how to part with people. So bear with me. До скоро. До скоро means see you later. Довиждане. Довиждане. Goodbye. Another word would be довиждане. Довиждане. Goodbye. And don't be afraid to use the Italian ciao because it's so short and so easy and everybody uses it. And this is another foreign word that we have stolen and claimed in our Bulgarian language. Не знам. Не знам. I don't know. Не знам. Не знам. This is a way of saying I don't know. And in my personal opinion, this phrase can get you out of almost any situation. Whatever they ask you, you just say не знам, and you can add bulgarski at the end of that sentence. For example, не знам bulgarski. And that will be enough for the people to leave you alone. If you do know Bulgarian, which you do by watching BulgarianPod101.com, you can just say znam. I know bulgarski, Bulgarian. Znam bulgarski. I know Bulgarian. Great. Seems like we've reached the end of this episode of BulgarianPod101.com, and you now know the top 25 Bulgarian phrases everybody should know. Great! That's amazing. I'm proud of you. And by the way, for more Bulgarian, click subscribe here under this video. Leave me a comment about which of this you would say to a stranger, or go to BulgarianPod101.com for more lessons in Bulgarian. I'm your host, Daria, and I can't wait until I meet you next time. Until then, do skoro!
Today we're going to talk about 4 techniques to help you stop translating in your head and instead start thinking in your target language. This will allow you to have conversations with ease, read smoothly, and better understand native speakers. These are 4 methods to help you think in a new language. Number 1, surround yourself with your target language. This way, you'll be completely immersed in the language. Without realizing it, you'll learn pronunciation, sentence structures, grammar, and new vocabulary. Play music in the background while you're cooking, or have a radio station on while you study. Just use one of our endless podcasts available to you. These are easy to listen to in the background while doing other things. Number 2, learn through observation. This is how we all learned our native languages as kids. Words will develop their own meanings that relate better to your target language, rather than meanings that are translated directly. Number 3, speak out loud to yourself. Even if you're a little embarrassed, it forces you to listen to how you speak. It makes it much easier to spot simple grammar mistakes. Number 4, practice daily. If you practice everything for only one day, you won't retain the information you learned. The brain can realistically only focus for about 30 minutes. So studying a little every day allows you to absorb better. Follow these steps and have patience. You'll soon be able to achieve your language learning goals. Just make sure to remember these 4 methods. Sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. And start learning more every day. Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Bulgarian ebook before it's gone.